Welcome back to Kirby Squeak Squad Sparring Waddle Dee. And today we are going to take on Outer Space. And this is the shortest world of the entire game, only 3 levels, not even an extra. So we'll just grab Parasol Waddle Dee, and like I alluded to earlier, he does in fact give Parasol, not Beam. Let's just use it to get rid of Shotso and get around Folly. Now we should be coming to, a Bronto Burt. Still some very basic enemies out in Outer Space, rather. I almost said Waddle Space for Waddle Dee. Nope, we'll just cut through these chains. And then right here should be the area where we have a new, unique kind of puzzle. So we get into the barrel, Gordo passes by, and another one. Okay, so here's another instance, yet again, where we have to know where to go. We want to take the top to do another fire puzzle. Somehow we'll have to get to that chest. And we'll do it by burning the metal. So now we want to take the lower left and grab wheel. Another chest, pretty easy. And we'll be sure to land on that star. So here's an area that would cause a lot of resets. If you try and inhale the chest from Spinny, it could fall into the abyss down below. So we're just going to let her get away for a little bit and try to avoid squeakers and stop him from stealing my chest. So she gets away. Looks like we're in for another fight. Maybe this time I should take out the squeakers first. Oh, Spinny's down. Now just Squeakers with his giant bomb. I think it's always the blue one that throws the giant bomb. So a chest easily obtained in World 1, or Level 1 rather. So on to Level 2, and this is one of my favorite themes in Kirby, Candy Constellation. Really good theme for Outer Space. It did previously play in Amazing Mirror when you got to the space portion there, and be careful not to fall into that Waddle Dee. So interestingly enough, we've seen Waddle Dee in volcanoes, in jungles, in icy areas, in water areas. They are crawling in Waddle Space. Waddle Space, there I go again. In Outer Space. Yeah, they're everywhere. I don't know if Waddle Dees need to breathe oxygen. I do know they'd eat cookies at least, but apparently they don't care about oxygen in Waddle Space. Gordo, you are very hard to see with this star foreground. A bit of a star block puzzle involving him. And let's just go under and over Sir Kibble. And yet another one. But past Peggy here, there's a suspicious big block. Go away, laser bubble. What could be behind it? A door. And a puzzle. And one up we're probably not going to need. And we have rock, chest, and heavy knight, but this one, if you know what's coming, you want to hit the one under the rock. So here's a bit of a weird mechanic. If Kirby's flying and he hits the water, he just flies straight through it. I don't know why this happens, but I'm glad it's here. It makes things a little bit easier, as you can see, until Folly hits me anyway. But it's also easy for navigating around Gordo. And we have Golden Waddle Dee, which means we'll have to come back to this level. Not that I mind, because I love Candy Constellation. And yeah, the gimmick of this one is to inhale him and not inhale Myga. And another block puzzle, that seems to be the theme of this level. Let's just grab that and summon Snoro. Careful not to go into his hideout. So that little piece of metal, we've been collecting them. They will summon a ghost mid-boss called Tedhon. We won't be fighting him in this episode. I don't remember if we'll fight him in the next one when we go back to places. But he's going to take over some mid-boss areas around the game. So on to the last level with this amazing theme as Bun falls towards us. And this level is just flooded with Waddle Dee. You'll see in a minute. And Scarfy too. No Scarfy. And this Bun right here is hilarious. He doesn't know which way to go. He's too big. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they're everywhere. No Sparky. Okay, we can go over him. And we'll grab the sword before getting hit by Waddle Dee. You know what? I'll just grab you too, Waddle Dee. Why is this music so awesome? There seem to be a lot of Scarfies in space. 2 and Waddle Dees. And we have a Gao Gao again. But we will need his ability, because there is quite a complex dig puzzle coming up. Well, not really complex, just long. You kind of have to know where you're going so you don't get lost. Let's just steal his ability. Alright, climb up the ladder. And go all the way around. And there's even a Waddle Dee to avoid, if I can get up here. And they were nice enough to give us a Gaga anyway if we didn't eat him. So here we go, our long dig through the windy corridors. Sparky as well, but first we have to come over here and hit this switch. Not go the dead end, get the life. Sparky, electric is weak to ground. This is not the best area for you to be in. I don't know if Sparky's supposed to be a mouse. His artwork looks like some little kind of spark plug thing, but, yeah. Oh, he debuted way before Pokemon. He debuted in Kirby's Adventure back in 1993, which was a couple years before Pokemon. So make of that what you will. But anyway, we'll come back to the top. And an icy area fitting for space. And Hothead, will he let me kill him? No. And another warp storm through a pretty amazing area coming up. All these little crystal thingies. Kirby will go to every end of outer space to get his cake. And it looks like there's even trees here in space too. So this little guy right here, his name is UFO. Very creative. I don't use the UFO ability here, but he's pretty fast and can get annoying because he can't just run himself right into you. And a lot of flying enemies like Kirby again. Yeah, it seems they tried to put all of the enemies in this area at the very end of the game. And we'll definitely want to be taking fire. There are some metal blocks that need burning right there. Let's just get rid of all the danger first. Heavy Knight, Flamer, and flame our way into this. And a chest, and a mystery block. We won't be needing that. Let's just carry on before they get us. And Doc just politely drops a chest on our head. But he's not going to let us leave without a fight, and he has his little UFO buddies, fitting for him. You know, Doc kind of looks like Mario a bit in mouse form. But that's it for him. And I think that will be the last piece of the heart container. Very good for our upcoming boss fight, or fights. So I make a cut here to go back and get Tornado, obviously, because it is broken. Although you could get lucky and get it from that question mark block. And we'll be fighting DeRoach. He's pretty much exactly as he was in World 6. I think he throws bombs now. And he shoots his little ice beam too, like he did back then. But the idea, just keep ramming into him with Tornado. Although he can zip around and make this a little bit difficult. Just being patient with him. And this fight is also a two-parter, although you're not fighting DeRoach back-to-back. It's not like Mecha Kracko. Mecha Kracko is really the only boss that is back-to-back. We will be fighting someone else after DeRoach. Any day you want to warp into my Tornado. So yeah, I think this is why they make World 8 so short, because you do have a couple of boss fights in the end. Fitting, I guess, although there could have been an extra level. So, he's down, and that star possessing him is off. But it looks like it wants us to follow it. Right after we get the triple star. So even at the very end of outer space, there are Waddle Dee, and we do have to be really careful here because those little stars floating around Kirby, as you can see right there, they hit enemies around him, basically giving him a bigger hitbox. So if we weren't careful around Waddle Dee before, we definitely have to be now. Luckily, there aren't too many of them in this area. We just have to climb up this rocky area to get to the real final boss. The game is kind enough to give us plenty of chicken pieces beforehand. So what will we be fighting? We have Nebula. Now Nebula is considered possibly the worst final boss in Kirby. He's pretty easy, he changes elements and he just floats around. He doesn't even have a second phase after this, so I'm just going to try and hit him with the star pieces here from the triple star. Yeah, he does different actions depending on his element, but I don't even think he changes his element to fire, ice, or anything during this fight. However, that's still not going to stop me from getting hit. That's me in an RPG, in a nutshell. RPG, I meant platformer. Oh boy. Although a Kirby RPG would be pretty cool, actually. Anyway, let's just continue finishing him off. and he's showing off his other elements he could have gotten. And this is a part of the game where you may be thinking, well, now he's evolving to his true form, a giant eyeball. That wouldn't be anything new for Kirby, but he disappears out of existence. And that would be the end of the game in the last story segment. Past me is realizing I have to press the button to move forward. The text doesn't automatically scroll. And yeah, Meta Knight knew what was in that chest, so he did try and protect us from it. Well, that was all in vain because we released him, but we beat him. And the Squeaks will now leave us alone. It will return, but there is one thing on Kirby's mind. Yeah, we still didn't get that cake. Where could it have ended up? And that is the end of Kirby Squeak Squad. I hope you enjoyed. So Kirby Squeak Squad isn't really... It's a great game, but a lot of the fan base thinks it is a weaker entry in the series. It's pretty short, it's pretty easy. The final boss isn't that compelling. Some of the main characters like Wispy Woods aren't even present in the game, so a lot of people are iffy on this game. I personally like it. I really like the design of it, the DS feel. It's kind of like a in-between GBA and DS Air. It's the first DS Kirby game. Or rather the second. I think Canvas Curse did come out before that. But the actual mainline Kirby game on the DS, I think it's pretty good. I enjoy doing it for a challenge like this. I thought it would be, because it's such an easy game, it would be good to do this type of challenge just to test it out, and being my first time playing a Kirby game on screen. As I alluded to in World 7, I think if I were to do this again, I would do Nightmare Dreamland. I think that's another really good game to work with this type of theme. The newer Kirby games, you have these broken abilities like Hypernova, Ultra Sword, Robot Armor. They just kind of make it really hard to do this kind of challenge because you're going to have to kill Waddle Dee. They're just in your way from the get-go in World 1. So that is my thoughts on Squeak Squad, the future of any Kirby game I'll do on the channel, and I will let you listen to this amazing music. And we are about to see something incredibly adorable. Kirby finally has his piece of strawberry shortcake. If Kirby is truly happy, then I'm truly happy. So join me next time for the bonus episode where we will be 100% completing the game. We have to collect those other chests from the golden Waddle Dees and the one in the area where we have Wheelie, and we're not going to do this. And we also have the piece of cake. So I will see you for the next episode.